Hey downtown van. Hey downtown van.
Hey downtown van.
Hey downtown van.
Hey downtown van.
Hey downtown van.
You're listening to Hey Downtown Van, hosted by the Downtown Vancouver BIA.
Hey Downtown Van, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Sofia Laratta, and today I'm joined by Downtown Van President and CEO, Jane Talbot, as well as our special guest, Graham Blank. Graham is the Vice President and Director of Tom Lee Music Canada, where he has spent more than 3 decades supporting musicians, educators, and arts organizations across British Columbia. A lifelong musician trained in jazz and piano, he began his career with Tom Lee Music in 1989 and has played a key role in the company's growth and community impact. Graham is deeply committed to music education and has supported countless cultural initiatives, festivals, and events throughout Vancouver and beyond. He's also a board member of the Downtown Van Board of Directors, and we're so excited to have him on the podcast today. So let's get into it. Graham, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you. You brought some instruments today.
I did, of course.
Of course. We're so excited. You're going to play a little bit for us later, but let's just start off and talk about you.
Okay.
And tell us about your role at Tom Lee Music. What first brought you into the store and even just the music industry?
So I guess what brought me in was, I grew up in Nanaimo and was a professional musician, studied jazz at college, and moved to Vancouver to pursue my musical dreams, and I needed a day job. So I started hanging around in the local music stores. Tom Lee had just opened on Granville Street, and kept applying. Finally got a job, not in that store because they'd already hired everybody, but I worked in the Woodward's department stores for I think 3 years when we used to have the Woodward Keyboard Center in Richmond. And then Woodward's closed and we opened our freestanding store. So I've worked in our Richmond store, managed that, our Coquitlam store, managed our school, went back to school at UBC and SFU to get business degrees. And so I'm now the vice president of sales and marketing. And so this is my 37th year with the company.
Wow. That's amazing.
I know.
You didn't want to go to school for music?
I did. I studied jazz at VIU. You know, I came to that path on my road where music was a better hobby than a career, and it's turned out well for me.
Yeah, no
So
kidding.
I still play lots and have lots of fun in the music industry.
I love that.
So you've been working on Granville Street since the early 90s.
Correct, yeah.
Right? The 700 to 900 blocks.
That's right.
What was the vibe on Granville when you first started?
So coming from a small town in Nanaimo, it was definitely exciting. It was a happening place. I would say very vibrant and very gritty. Honestly, not that much different than it is today. You know, there's different things that are going on now than there were back then. I think tourism, for one, and there was less retail on the street. But yeah, it was definitely an exciting place. Our store was at 900 block Granville, which was right across from the Roxy and the Vogue.
Oh, wow.
So I spent a lot of time at the back bar at the Roxy and the Vogue and all the theaters downtown. So, I mean, tons and tons of music in the city.
Did you ever play at the Roxy?
I did, yeah. A couple times, played with some people, played some events, like kind of private shows. But I mean, the Roxy and Granville Entertainment has done an incredible job of having, probably the best bands in the city for the longest time. I mean, that Roxy is an iconic nightclub. So Dawn Patrol and The Odds and, on and on and on. So lots and lots of bands. But
that's really cool. What's one unforgettable moment from Granville back in the day that really captures Granville's energy for you?
Yeah, good question. CFox Radio used to have this contest called Seeds, or what's it called? The Fox. Anyway, it turned into Vancouver Seeds, but it was basically a music contest. And they had their events at the Commodore Ballroom. Matthew Good won one year. Lots of bands now that are famous. So that was a great incubator. I mean, lots of events at the Commodore. Juno Fest, I think it was the first year was 2009, which was right on Granville Street. That was one of the first, kind of pre-Granville block party that you guys are doing now. Kind of one of the first big street events, and that was super exciting. Of course, the 2010 Olympics, but But yeah, Juno Fest and Fox Seeds were great events
That's
back in
really
the day.
cool. Have you ever been to the National Music Center in Calgary?
I have many times actually. Yeah, we've done lots of events. So we have a Steinway store in Calgary.
Oh, nice.
So we partner with NMC and do lots of things there. It's a very, very cool place.
It's a really nice facility. But I thought came up in my mind because the last time I was there, the Commodore Ballroom was on the most iconic
For sure.
venues in Canada.
I mean, Vancouver had so many great venues. Town Pump back in the day, Starfish Room, Commodore Ballroom, Orpheum, obviously, Vogue Theatre, Richards on Richards, if everyone remembers that. But there was, incredible amount of live music downtown.
Why did that change, do you think? And has it changed? How has the music scene changed on Granville?
I think it's changed a lot. There still is live music, but there's a lot less of it. And I really think it's just due to the cost. It's very, you had Nate from Blueprint on, which was a great podcast. And he was talking about some of the challenges about running clubs downtown. It's expensive. There's lots of regulations. I think that's a big piece of it. The clubs just, have to make a living and be able to survive. So having live music, where you're paying bands a living wage to perform is challenging. So, I've seen, where they used to have big bands all the time, and the Roxy still has live music pretty much 7 nights a week, but a lot of other clubs have scaled back. They might have, a music night or a single or a duo or something like that. And a lot of the music has moved out of the city, in Coquitlam, Langley, Burnaby, because it's more affordable, both for the clubs, but also for the musicians. I think, to live downtown Vancouver is expensive.
So Tom Lee has been a cornerstone of Vancouver's music culture. Why are places like Tom Lee Music so important to the city?
That's a good question. We've been in Vancouver since 1969. Ultimately, I think it comes down to the people. We have really great staff. Many of them been there, 10, 20, 30 years. I'm not the oldest employee for sure in the company. It's, I think that we help to create a sense of community. People come in not just to buy instruments, they come to hang out.
Yeah.
They come to find out what's going on. One of the reasons that we're downtown, there's so much, there's concerts and events and things that are happening. And, we see this all the time, whoever's in town, you see parents and kids coming in with their tour shirts on and, maybe the parents used to play and the kids are now wanting to play or, things like that. So it's our music store is much more than just a retail store. It's a place to kind of hang out. That's what I used to do when I was a kid. That's why I ended up working here actually.
So you can go into Tom Lee and you can test out the guitars and
for sure. And we have a performance space and we always have in our store.
Oh.
So we do, we've got, we can accommodate up to 50 people. It's basically like a demonstration stage. We've got, a concert grand piano. We have recitals and events and workshops, sales events. We bring in, reps from suppliers and so on to show off products. We do CD release parties. We do all kinds of stuff in there. We've recently started working more closely with, you might refer to them as influencers. They're not. They become that, but they're actually, they're super talented musicians who are using social media to promote their music. And we've been doing a lot of things, working with local artists in our spaces and hanging out. So if you come downtown, you often see a video recording or podcast or something happening in our store. So
that's really smart. I love that. So you can record a podcast in
we could have done that here. It would have been a lot easier. I wouldn't have had to bring all my stuff down. But yeah, we have a studio upstairs where we do photos and videos, and then we have a space set up to do live streaming. Particularly during COVID, we turned it into, like a Zoom studio essentially, right? So we do all kinds of stuff like that.
Cool. Well, we'll have to come back and
for
record over there.
Now, you've met a lot of artists over the years.
I have.
Yeah. Who are some of the memorable musicians or famous people who have visited the store? And do you have any good stories, any good tea?
Well, what happens at Tom Lee Music stays at Tom Lee Music. No, I do have some good stories. We had tons and tons of bands in over the years, from Aerosmith, AC/DC, we had Malcolm Young, Ron Wood from the Stones came in, Phil Collins, Sylvester Stallone. So one funny story is Tom Lee Music, Tom Lee. We had Tommy Lee from Motley Crue with Nikki Sixx come in one day. they arrived with this entourage and went up into one of our departments, and they dealt with one of our very young, super knowledgeable keyboard synth guys, and he had no idea who they were. And so he proceeded to help them out. I think they were getting into like resampling or digital stuff and music production. So he was helping them out. And at one point he said to them, "So like, do you guys play in a band?" And they go, "Yeah, we're Motley Crue," and there's like high fives and everything. And then at some point I came out and saw them and introduced myself. So anyways, he continued to help them. And at the end, they said, he never asked about their show or whatever they were playing at Rogers Arena or GM Place back in the day. And they finally said, "Do you want to come and see the band?" So we all got backstage passes. There was like 10 of us. And we went to see him. And I got a picture with Tommy Lee in front of our Tommy Music sign. So that was pretty funny.
That's so cool.
The other one, we did a series of pop-ups. We used to have one of our tenants in our building was the Sony store, and they moved out. And so we had this empty space. So we started doing these pop-ups. So we had One Direction pop-up store.
Oh, I thought you were going to say One Direction was in. I was like,
actually, those guys never showed up. But we had like murals and people were taking pictures. But we had a Kiss pop-up store, and the band came. Wow. And they did a press conference in our music hall upstairs. And so I was in charge of, they had security and the whole thing, but I had to take Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley from the ground floor up to the third floor. So we get in the elevator and they're in full costume, like boots and everything. So, Gene's pretty tall to begin with, but you had platform boots. So we're in this small elevator and I'm about 6 inches away from this hairy chest. And he looks at me and all of a sudden he goes, "Who farted?"
Oh my God.
They were hysterical. They were super fun guys, but
I love that.
So, yeah.
Do you still get famous people rolling into the store?
Oh yeah, all the time. Actually, John Cena just came in about a month ago and purchased a piano for his family. And so yeah,
love that.
All the time. It's funny because our staff obviously are huge music fans.
Yeah.
But we can't be fanboys, so to speak, when artists come in. So we're very respectful. But it's hard not to at times. You're like, okay, can I get a picture with you or something? But
yeah, of course.
But, no, it's cool, and for the most part, they're normal people, and they come in and they're just like any other customer. They want, what's this about, and who's playing and what's happening, that sort of thing. So,
do you think they want to be recognized, or do you think they don't mind when somebody just doesn't know who they are?
I think as long as it's respectful, I think it's expected. They're celebrities. Yeah. But at the same time, what I've found is they appreciate being treated respectfully and being friendly, curious, and helpful, like you would anybody customer.
Else. Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, okay, yeah, I'll give you a selfie or whatever. and I think the world we're living in now, they're all constantly self-promoting and so on. But
that's so fun. On a deeper level, why does music matter to you, to other people, to communities, and to our city?
I think there's two things. I think the first thing is music is a universal language, and I think it brings us together, unites us. You think of, when you go to a wedding or a funeral or a hockey game or whatever, everybody stands together and sings the national anthem or things like that. So I think that's where you would go to a concert. So whether you play or not, I think music brings people together. But for people who do play, I think it's a deeply personal form of self-expression. I think we need a lot more of that in the world. There's a lot of distractions, particularly, smartphones and technology and things happening in the world. And music is something that doesn't come easy. It requires discipline and concentration and, all the things I think are good for the brain and good for our society.
Like music kind of, when you think about it, sort of tells the story of our lives. When
sure.
Like when I think back, even like my very first slow dance, I remember the song that was on, and so many of my memories are attached to music. I think that's really powerful about music.
I agree. I have a lot of songs that are associated with certain people, certain places.
Yeah. Can take you back in a minute.
It really can.
So you are also a
musician.
You're not also a magician, are you?
My girlfriend's parents, I was a magician. That's even more appealing, but yes.
You are a musician. What instruments do you play, and how did music first become a part of who you are?
I play lots of instruments. My main instrument is piano or keyboards and guitar. But I grew up. My grandparents played music and would gather around, a record machine, making records in the living room, playing piano and singing. My grandparents loved to sing, so that was kind of an early age. My parents got me into piano lessons. And then I joined the high school band, or I guess the junior band. I started playing trumpet. I was playing piano in the jazz band. The Nanaimo has an incredible music scene, still does actually. A lot of people, a lot of very famous people have come out of Nanaimo, including Diana Krall. I graduated a year behind her.
Oh, wow.
Ingrid Jensen, Christine Jensen. Lots of people in the jazz scene, mostly because of the teachers that were over. There was a teacher named Brian Stovall. Diana nominated her first Grammy to him.
Oh,
so it was a big
wow.
big music scene in Nanaimo. There's tons of live music. You could make a living playing 7 nights a week, 6 nights a week. So basically, I played piano my whole life, classical jazz, played in the jazz band. We won the national jazz competition in Quebec City, I think, in 85 or 84, something like that. And then I started playing guitar because it was just more, kind of campfire-ish. I could learn some stuff. But my love is acoustic piano. I play Hammond organ, so like jazz organ is my thing, and then
Cool.
I kind of hack around a guitar.
Of course, I've gotten to know you first through your role as a board member
Mhm.
at Downtown Van at our organization. I didn't know that you played until you invited us all to one of your performances, your band. I was blown away, and I had one of the most fun nights that I've had in a really long time, and I just thought you were exceptional.
Thank you.
Mhm.
What's your band's name?
Oh, I have I'm playing in 5 or 6 different
Oh,
groups.
fair.
Mostly, I told Jane the story, but since the beginning of COVID, I've been playing online.
Oh,
And there's a platform that we use called Jam Kazam, and you can basically connect with musicians all over the world. I play regularly, like 2 or 3 times a week with bands locally, and also California, San Francisco, Portland, Kansas City, stuff like that. Actually, I was
Wow.
in Los Angeles 2 weeks ago for a trade show, and a bunch of the guys that I play with flew down to see me. We went
No
to the show and
way.
hung out. So
That's
I
so
think
lovely.
the show that I saw might have been the first time y'all played together.
some of us, yeah,
in
that's
person.
right.
Yeah.
We've been playing together online since like 2020, early days of pandemic. And the show that you saw was, I think we had 18 musicians that flew in from all over Canada and the US to play.
It was so much fun, and it was
So
a great
super
venue.
fun. Yeah, it was great. Thanks
Yeah.
to Nate.
Yeah.
Aw. Honestly, thank God for technology, though, because imagine
Oh,
if you
no, for
weren't able
sure.
to do that during COVID.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
I still do it. It's way more convenient than packing up all my stuff like I
Fair
did
enough.
today, and going somewhere. I can go down and turn my stuff on and be online and play. And
Yeah, fair enough. How has working in the music industry shaped your musical taste and the way you play?
I've been exposed to just a ton of music in all different genres. Tomley Music has been a sponsor and a supporter of, I think, every arts organization in the city, from the symphony to the opera to coastal jazz, like the Vancouver International Jazz Festival since the very beginning, Vancouver Folk Fest. So I've got to see lots of shows, but not just as an audience member, but on the backstage side or side stage, and meet these artists. So how has it shaped me as a musician? It's for sure, it's exposed me to all kinds of different genres that I probably wouldn't have just found on my own. And got to meet these different artists and realized, most of them have the same insecurities that I have as a musician. You're never going to get there. You're always pursuing, you're always trying to hone your craft, so to speak. So, it's influenced me musically, but it also, I think, encouraged me to take more choices or risks, to take more risks in my playing. Like doing, what I'm doing today, right?
Yeah, we're so grateful that you brought all of your stuff with you. What's an artist, or who's an artist that you listen to that would shock people?
Jacob Collier.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen him every show. He's been in Vancouver. I got to hang out with him a bit, meet him when he came to TED. Where was that, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. Incredible. If
He's
you've never
super
heard
talented.
him, go and see him. It's an incredible experience.
Now, you've seen an incredible amount of live music in Vancouver.
Mhm.
What are a few of the most epic concerts you have personally experienced at some point in any of our downtown venues?
Oh my goodness, that's hard to pick one. I mentioned earlier, I mean, that we have some iconic rooms in the city, right? Commodore being one of them. And we've got great organizations as well that program them. So I would say, first of all, I've seen incredible classical artists, like, the best of the best. Evgeny Kissin, Long Long, Yuja Wang. Vancouver Recital Society is one organization in Vancouver that is continually exposing new artists. And anytime I go to their show, I'm surprised, which is what I really want out of music, is to go, okay, that was interesting. I wouldn't have heard that before.
Yeah.
The Vancouver International Jazz Festival, same thing. I think of like a Chick Corea, Keith Jarrett, Diana Krall's first performance at the Orpheum. Yeah, I mean, iconic performances.
Yeah.
For me, when I think about Vancouver and the clubs and nightlife, a lot of it was the local bands. I mean, Vancouver's been a big incubator for some really famous bands. As I mentioned earlier, we were right across from the Roxy, and Dawn Patrol was the house band there for years, and who was the alter ego was the Odds. So I think of like Dawn Patrol, 5440, Matthew Good, DOA, Spirit of the West, Wide Mouth Mason,
yeah.
right? And though, I remember being at those shows, and it felt like you were part of, kind of a movement. These artists were just, kind of getting discovered, and you were and they were kind of figuring things out, right?
Yeah.
So those are great. So those are probably the most memorable shows, but two for sure would be Prince. I got a chance to see Prince at the Vogue Theater, and it was one of those secret pop-up shows. He was doing a concert somewhere else, and he did the secret show, and somehow I managed to get in there, and it was like completely mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And then the other one would be Tragically Hip, who I've seen, I think, every time they've been in Vancouver. I saw them in the Commodore, and that was like one of those, like, oh my goodness, right? I think it was the last small show that they did in the city, but they spent a lot of time here kind of figuring stuff out.
What about you, Soph? What's your favorite concert in Vancouver?
That I've seen?
Big, small, doesn't matter.
I've been to so many, but the one that always sticks out for me is, do you know who SZA is?
Mm-hmm.
I saw SZA at the Commodore Ballroom in 2017 when she was just like a smaller artist, and now she's huge. I saw her in LA with Kendrick Lamar, and like going from the Commodore Ballroom to SoFi Stadium is like crazy.
Yeah.
I think mine would be two. Lyle Lovett at the Commodore.
Oh, cool.
Like,
I saw that show. That was great.
So great, right? It was just...
Actually, Lyle Lovett rehearsed in our concert hall upstairs.
Oh, yeah.
And so he was warming up, so I got to go hang out in the back and watch him do his thing. He was very cool.
And then Noah Reid. I've seen him twice in Vancouver, and every time I see him play, I'm just mesmerized.
Nice.
Yeah, really nice.
Who are your biggest musical influences?
Okay, so I mean, there's lots, but I would say I started off on the classical side, so, and then I kind of moved into jazz. So it would be Glenn Gould and Oscar Peterson. So Oscar Peterson kind of was the crossover, and then Chick Corea, Keith Jarrett was probably if I had a desert island album, would be Keith Jarrett Cohen concerts. If you've never heard it, it's like a double live album, and it's just amazing of improvised music. And then I got into like Jimmy Smith, this jazz organ player, and then my rock side was like Deep Purple and John Lord was my kind of keyboard influences.
Very cool.
Speaking of keyboards, why don't you play us something?
Okay. So I was thinking about what to play, and my my favorite band for many years was the Tragically Hip, and the show that I saw them at the Commodore was definitely memorable. So I'm going to play a song called Wheat Kings by the Tragically Hip, but I'm not going to play it on guitar. I'm going to play on piano. So let's see how it goes. Sundown in the Paris of the prairie, wheat kings have all your treasures burned, and all you hear rusty breezes, pushing around the weather vane, Jesus. In a Zippo lighter he sees the killer's face. Maybe it's someone standing in the killer's place. 20 years for nothing, well, there's nothing new. No one's interested in something you didn't do. We, kings and prithing, wait and see what tomorrow brings. There's a dream he dreams of the high school. It's dead and stark. There was a mule man, we're all locked up. It's after dark, where the walls are lined of yellow gray, sinister, hung with pictures of our parents' prime minister. We, kings and breathing, wait and see what tomorrow brings. Breaking sorry on the CBC. Nation whispers, we always knew that he'd go free. They add you can't be found, no living in the past. If you are, then there's no way that you're gonna last. We, kings and prithing, wait and see what tomorrow brings. We, kings and prithing, that's what tomorrow brings. Pretty early for that.
No, that was amazing. That was so good.
Listening to you play, I think about so many other kids who are like just starting,
Mhm.
right? And who will hear you and be like, "That's so cool." What advice do you have to a younger person who's just exploring music and wanting to grow?
I think the first thing is just to enjoy yourself. You know,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, you know, as I said earlier, I think it's a deeply personal form of self-expression. It's a great place to lose yourself. It's a great, you know, to play for other people, to play with other people. But I think to play for yourself is the most important thing. So that would be the first thing. And the second thing is, you know, depending what you're wanting to do, if you're a singer-songwriter or you want to play with other people, you know, either as a soloist or accompanist, is to try to find your own voice. I think, you know, if you're just playing for yourself, you know, play to enjoy. But if you're trying to have a career in music, I think you have to find some way to be unique, to find your own voice. And, you know, it's in some ways increasingly difficult because there's so much content, so much music. On the other hand, there's so many opportunities for artists to take control of their their identity really, and to find a unique voice, and using social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc. So many of the shows that I see now in Vancouver, I wouldn't have seen if I didn't discover the artists online. Jacob Collier is a great example. Where he was this YouTuber doing these kind of compilation videos from his little bedroom in London. And when he came to Vancouver, his show was sold out, and then the next show was bigger, and the next show was bigger, and the next show was bigger. I see that in the classical world as well. I mean, the shows that tend to do well are the ones that the audience has some understanding of who they are and what they're going to expect.
Yeah. I also think like people, obviously, if being a performing musician and being famous is your goal, that's amazing. But also there's so many other career paths in music that you can take. And I feel like you're a prime example of that too. For sure.
And I look at, Vancouver has a great film and TV. There's a lot of music for that. Video games. I know actually a lot of people that I know who've worked for the company, or musician friends of mine have worked for Electronic Arts or Black Box, or doing music for video games. There's music all over the place, right?
Yeah.
So I think now the challenge is now we've got AI generated music, and I just encourage people to seek out live music, go see shows, listen to live music. Don't listen to AI music. I mean, it's a great tool, for sure. But as far as just putting in a prompt and releasing music and saying this is my music, I'm not there for sure.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bad thing for all of us.
Oh, 100%. And it's crazy too, because sometimes you can't even tell if it's AI.
No, for sure. I mean, you can't tell with videos. You can't tell with audio or photos. Sometimes is that real? Is it fake?
Yeah.
And it happens so quickly because it feels like just a year ago you could tell.
Oh, 100%.
And now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it's I mean, I know there's been some songs on Billboard, some of the top country songs and top pop songs that were 100% AI generated. And it's not a good thing for musicians, and I don't think it's a good thing for our culture.
No, I agree
For
completely.
society.
You have traveled a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When you are in other cities, what do people think about Vancouver, and how does our music and culture come across internationally?
Everywhere I go, when you say you're from Vancouver and they say Vancouver, Washington, or Vancouver, Canada, people I think always have a positive response. I mean, they think of the natural beauty for sure as like the most beautiful city. I think the city did a really good job, including all the things that DVBA did to activate a lot of the events that are happening. But I think the 2010 Olympics really helped to showcase what Vancouver has to offer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think beautiful scenery, friendly people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I hear.
I love that. We also have a lot of like really talented and famous artists that have come out of
yes,
BC.
For sure. Yeah, many, many, many.
Going back to Granville Street for just a sec, if it had a soundtrack, what songs or genres would define it then and now?
Probably both of my songs are more then than now, but one of them is being on Granville Street, working downtown for so long. The Odds was the band, the Back Bar, the Roxy, and seeing those guys. So I would say Someone Who's Cool by The Odds. It's a great song, a very funny song, and had lots of good memories to that. But the other one I just think is timeless is called Vancouver, and it's by Jeff Buckley.
Oh.
And it's incredible.
I've never heard that song.
Yeah,
No, I haven't either.
song.
I'm going to have to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll make you cry.
Oh. What's your vision for Granville Street in the next few years?
Oh, my goodness. My hopes and dreams for Granville Street. Jane, you mentioned earlier, I've been involved with Downtown Van, or previously Downtown Vancouver Business Improvement Association.
Yes.
Which I like your rebrand. Working with Charles in the Granville Street redesign, or Granville Street improvement, I guess it was, Granville improvement, leading up to the Olympics.
Yeah.
And then since then, and been happy to join the board. So I think myself and everybody on the board shares the same vision of a safe, clean, livable, inviting city.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very, very challenging, not just in Vancouver. I mean, every metro city I've been has similar challenges. But we have so much to offer with our our beautiful spaces. I think we're a tourist mecca, and if we continue, I think the work that Downtown Van does, working with the local government, the provincial government, the federal government, I'm hopeful that we can see some positive change that will make it even better.
Definitely.
Me too.
Before we close off the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
would you like to play another song for us?
Sure. I was thinking about what to play, and I'm going to play another Canadian song. However, it was made famous by Eddie Vedder. So it's a song that's written by this band called Indio that was like late 80s, 89 or something. And it's called Hard Sun or Big Hard Sun. And Eddie Vedder made it famous. I saw one of my other epic shows of seeing Eddie Vedder played at the Vogue Theater, and it was the Orpheum. It was an unplugged show. It was just him and a guitar.
Wow.
And he played the song, and I thought it was very cool. So
Cool.
I decided to learn it. Okay, here we go. Big Hard Sun by Indio, made famous by Eddie Vedder.
When I walk beside her, I am the better man. When I look to leave her, I always stagger back again. Once I built an ivory tower I could worship from above. When I climbed down to set free, where she took me in again. There's a big hard sun beating all the big people in a big hard world. Once she comes to greet me, she is mercy at my feet. When I see her pin her charm, well, she throws it back at me. Once I dug an early grave to find a better land. She just smiled and laughed at me, and she took her booze again. There's a big hard sun beating all the big people in a big hard world. There's a big hard sun beating all the big people in a big hard world. Once I stood to lose her, I saw what I had done. Bound down and flew where the hours of a garden in the sun. So I tried to warn her, I tried to see her weep. 40 days and 40 nights, and it's coming down on me. There's a big hard sun beating all the big people in a big hard world. There's a big hard sun beating all the big people in a big hard world.
Yay!
There you go.
So good. Graham, is there anything that we didn't ask you that you want to tell our listeners before we close things off?
Yeah, go and support live music. Go and support your local music stores, and learn to play an instrument. It's so much fun.
Period.
I'd like to say something. I want to thank you for the 8 years that you've served on the board
thank
at
you.
Downtown Van. Your term limiting out.
I
think you
know.
have like 2 more meetings, and it's a significant contribution to our downtown.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
And thank you, Jane, and thank you to Charles before you and your team, Downtown Van and the Downtown Safety Ambassadors, and all that you guys do to help improve our city. It's been a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to, after I'm off the board, continue to support your community efforts. And of Granville Block Party and movie nights and Jazz Fest and all the things that happen downtown. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Hey Downtown Van. We really hope you enjoyed today's episode with Graham Blank. If you'd like to learn more about our organization and all that we do, you can visit our website, dtvan.ca, or follow along with the podcast at Hey Downtown Van.